Hey, vegan cyclist. So, inspiration comes usually from the most extreme edges of the spectrum. When you're looking for inspiration, you usually look at almost unobtainable goals. You look at the most fittest, fastest, greatest person or example of what you're trying to achieve. Not that that is practical for you, not that it really is something that you'll be able to reach, but that's where good inspiration comes from, is from those extremes. I have a story that I'd like to tell you or share with you about a very extreme individual, and hopefully his story might inspire you to become a little more connected with nature or live your life in a little bit different of a way to bring more happiness into it. Maybe not, whatever. It's kind of long, but I really, I think that you might enjoy this. I know that I had a really cool time, or a really good time hanging out with him and chatting with him. But basically, here's the story. I was out riding my bicycle, and I came across this guy with two mules, basically a horse and a donkey, kind of this big thing. And he was carrying these boxes, and it just looked really unique. And I didn't stop because I was in the middle of an interval and I just kind of had my head into it. And I really, really regretted not stopping and talking with this guy because it seemed like that man has some interesting things to say. 2 weeks later, I'm full of regret that I didn't stop and talk with that guy. And my wife found him on Facebook, and he had been staying at a local tomato farm, somewhere 10 minutes from us. And she read up on his story, and basically this guy travels the United States with these mules and just lives off the land, lives under the stars. I mean, it's just really a kind of a unique thing. So she messaged him, he called me, I begged kind of to come in and chat with him and put him on the camera and see what he has to say. So I packed up my family, we jumped in the car, and we made the short 10-minute drive, which is crazy that he was that close. And on the way there, I was kind of nervous that I was about to talk with this very unique person, someone who lives a lifestyle far beyond mine. We come to this amazing little tomato farm, basically this guy Sam, who sells tomatoes right on the in his front yard, right on the road. We were greeted by a small yappity dog, and when I saw John, I brought him some kiwis and blackberries and bananas and some fig bars, and just kind of as a token of appreciation for letting me kind of ask him some questions, because he doesn't know who I am. He took me back kind of around this area to where he was staying. He had all of his boxes set up, and this is kind of basically his normal setup that he has when he's staying somewhere. Sam of the tomato farm invited him to stay in his house, but that's not what John wants to do. He likes sleeping under the stars, feels very comfortable there. John currently has two mules, Lady, who's the oldest, and Little Girl, who's the youngest. They were super cool, and they were just kind of grazing on this grass, and I had the opportunity to sit down and chat with John. So I threw him out some questions. I hope you enjoy.
My name is Mule. I like to call myself a mule because I live with them. My life depends on them, my way of life. Their way of life, my way of life is the same. And so we like to call ourselves mules.
So how long have you been on the road?
Well, most of my life, really. I used to ride a bicycle. I rode a bicycle down into Mexico, and then I went across the United States from California to the East Coast and rode that back to Chicago, and then I hopped a freight again and got back to Washington. I got down to Texas. I worked for a couple of months, and then I was going to go back down into Mexico. And so I got started, and the first day out, I said, no more. I just didn't want to ride the bike anymore. And so I just put it over a fence and left it there. And that was really the last time any trips I did with a bike.
In the traditional sense of a house in the city, I mean, when was that ever part of your life?
Well, for a short time. I had an apartment, and I had a janitorial job, and I worked there for about a year, and I lived in this apartment. But that way of life just did not ever work for me. I always found myself outside, wandering around, whether it was on a bicycle or just walking. Yeah, my stints at actually living in a house and going back there every night to go to sleep were very short. Yeah, I always would come back when I got crazy. I'd come back to sleep on the ground at night. I just craved it, and it was therapy. And yeah, and I put my tools away, and then I just go wander around in the mountains, BLM land, National Forest land. Backpack. I was up in the wilderness areas, and you see mule trains go by. You know, you get out of their way and watch them go by. It was always enjoyable to watch them. So I decided I would get a mule someday, and they could carry all this stuff I had on my back, which was not a very comfortable circumstance. So I eventually got around to buying a mule, and that was when I was 36. It so improved my life, having a mule and the life that it gave me. It so improved it. I just never let go. I've been with them ever since.
Could you say like there's one thing that just draws you to this kind of nomad way of life?
Well, it's just being with nature. You know, you could be a nomad and go from one megatropolis to the next, go from San Francisco to LA and wander the streets, you know, cut off from nature, live in the concrete jungle. A lot of people live that life. I couldn't live that life. I've got to be connected to nature. And as you can see, I am. It's necessary for me to have life, to be close to nature, connected to it. And when I'm disconnected from it, I become ill. Yeah, I become not well.
If there was one place like you were gonna settle down, if that was ever...
Don't have one place because we're constantly, you know, we've moved all over the western United States, wandering. Every place has its own experience, its own energy, and they're all unique just like we all are. We're all unique. We have our own energy and our... So I can't identify any one place. Right now, my mind is continually flashing all the places I've been, all the camps I've made, and I enjoy every flash. Everything I can visualize, all of a sudden I'll visualize someplace I camped, the mules I had with me. It's just continually going, and I enjoy it.
What's your favorite meal?
Oatmeal, just, you know, rolled oats, this stuff. This has been my mainstay since I was in my 20s. I used to pay 5 cents a pound for this stuff. That's what's great about it. You can do anything with it. Anything you, like those blackberries you gave me, they'll go great with it. And maybe a little milk. Anything goes great with it. You can pop that stuff in your mouth dry. You can eat anything and chump it up in mixes. About the best food there is. And then you can just eat it dry when you're hungry. You just pick it out of the bag and eat it dry, and nothing tastes better.
What would your outlook be on veganism?
Well, for the most part, I am. I don't eat dairy products. They're not practical. You know, you buy milk and then have to drink it up all right away in the summer, or it's going to go bad. And my system doesn't do well with dairy products anymore anyway. So I very rarely eat them. And then meat, it's rare. Somebody offers me some, I take it and enjoy it. Most of the time I am a vegan.
How many calories do you think you consume in a day?
I think it fluctuates a lot. Like when I'm around here, I'm just not really very active. I don't need much. When I'm walking all day long, I eat a lot more. But I have no idea how many calories I eat. I really don't.
What's the longest period of time maybe that you've gone like without food?
Not very long. Last year I was fasting every so often for 2 days. That's a good thing to do. That's healthy for you. It cleans your system out, gives your body a chance to, you know, do house cleaning and get all the poisons out. I found it to be a good positive thing is to fast. Well, that's the longest I've ever gone without food is 2 days. Yeah.
Most common reaction to your lifestyle?
This way of life I'm living 50, 60 years ago was very common. You know, everybody wasn't the way it is now. And so people back then, you know, they would waste their time turning their head to look at myself and the mules because it was very common. It was, you know, it goes all the way back thousands of years. But as we are now, these generations or so have been disconnected from nature. They come out of their mother's womb. The first thing they see is four walls and lights. And a lot of them really don't, for all practical purposes, really don't see anything else. So here we come down through their neighborhood, you know, clumpity clump, and the energy that these mules carry just knock people out. Just literally knock people out. And stop at somebody's unkept lawn, you know, they don't mow their lawn, it just grows it like crazy. And we'll stop there and let the mules eat it, and people will start coming out of their houses and they'll, with their kids, and they'll come over, and all the kids will be all excited, and people will be asking us, "Where'd you come from? What are you doing here?" You know, and we'll tell them. We say we live outside, and we're just traveling through the area. Before you know it, there'll be a lot of people gathered around, and they'll be talking to each other, and neighbors will start introducing themselves to each other that have never talked to each other, and everybody's smiling and enjoying themselves. They're all tuning in from this natural energy that the mules carry with them. They're experiencing it, they're feeling it, and they're enjoying it. We walked through so-called rough neighborhoods, plenty of them. We walked all over Los Angeles. We've never had any troubles, you know? We just never have. And that's because the energy the mules are carrying is something that we all feel, we all know, and it's all us. And that's just the way it is. And then I don't have any trouble simply because I'm connected to them, so I'm a beneficiary of that.
I mean, do you find odd jobs? Like, what do you do for currency?
No, I get $262 a month, which I was scraping by on that until I got involved with the Facebook and website and all the costs affiliated with that, and the gadgets, the camera, the cell phone, the bills to, you know, keep the stuff going. And then what people hand us along the way as we go along. We don't ask for donations. We don't charge for people taking pictures. We're totally non-commercial. But the energy that we create around ourselves and produce as we walk along every day, that energy is constantly materializing back to us into what we need. Here I am staying at Sam's. I crossed the street to buy some tomatoes, but here I am. I've got a place to stay for a number of days and you know, gather my energy. And that sort of stuff happens all the time. It's truly magic.
How long does it take before you feel like you just have to return to nature?
Yeah, well, that's what's cool. As long as I'm with the mules, I never leave nature. As long as they're with me, we walk right through these cities, right through residential neighborhoods. We have no idea where we're going to go to sleep for the night. When it starts to get that time to start trying to find a place, you usually head for the freeways. But we never know where we're going to stop. But we have a great time. We meet people all day long, and this energy that surrounds us just keeps intensified and building. We don't have a bad day at all. But now if I was in a city by myself, you know, I couldn't stand it.
What would you say to someone who wants to maybe make a change to their life to become more connected?
There's millions of things. When I was telling you about the mint back there, I started making mint tea. I started saying, well, I'll just try this mint. So I strip the leaves off and throw it in some water and boil it, and then I start sipping it. And so I keep drinking it, not really knowing why, because I'm not particularly thirsty. It doesn't really taste that good. It tastes okay. I'm sitting here on the ground, and then all of a sudden I start noticing these donkeys that live on the other side of the fence out there. They're showing themselves. They're coming down at least twice a day. There's that tug and pull between these two powerful forces on this earth. Be aware of nature, and it'll find ways to draw you to it. Just as a man-made world has all kinds of ways to draw you to itself. And when you're aware of that, then, yeah, it's nature providing something, presenting something to you. You partake in it, and then there's a connection. It's just magic. And it's more than just eating. You eating, and you go to the restaurant, you eat a taco, it tastes good. You take another bite, that tastes good, and maybe I'll go get another taco. But what you experience is a connection, of plugging into nature and all it has to offer. It's more, it's the dimensions of it are far beyond what anything you're going to find when you get a taco. We have the capability of doing, in the summertime, we can easily do 20 miles a day if everybody's healthy and strong. And so that's usually the max we do, and then the rest of the time we down around 10. So it just depends on how many days, how many miles we do a day, and how fast we want to get there. We can get there fast, or we can take our time and get there slow. This life is not about being in a hurry to get to San Francisco. It's about going there and the experience of getting there and all the people you meet along the way and the stuff that happens. And that's what it's about. It's not about time and sense of hours and minutes. Our life is lived between two points. Our life is not lived at the points. It's lived in between those points.
What do you do for hygiene?
There's the man-made world requirement for being clean, and then there's the natural world requirement for being clean. They're not the same. The man-made world, you're inside buildings, you're shoulder to shoulder with others, and so your standard of cleanliness is a lot different. The way I get clean is we don't have access to showers. We don't have access to water in large quantities. So when I need to get clean, I got this bucket here, and I just fill it up, and I got a washcloth and soap, and then I've got a brush, and I'll just scrub my legs and my feet, and my arms, and wash my hair and wash my face and soap it down good. And when I get done doing that, I feel very clean. And I look clean too. So that's the way I handle that.
What happens if you break an ankle or an arm? Or, I mean, what happens if there's actually a physical injury and you're just...
I've been all over the mountains, and I've never broken anything. The wheels have stepped on my feet a couple of times. I think I've had a broken toe, which wasn't very comfortable, but it wasn't that. I was still able to keep myself moving and take care of myself. Other than that, all these years, I've never broken anything. Just extremely, if you want to call it luck, I don't think it is luck. I think it's something's watching out for us. And yeah.
Have you had any close calls with wild,
Okay. Well, we hear coyotes and see coyotes constantly. They're not a threat. They're not interested in human beings. They're after gophers and ground squirrels and that sort of thing. If you get up where the bears are, they're rather threatening. A big 500-pound bear that wants to come into your camp and investigate.
Right.
And you get up and try to scare it, and it just turns around and looks at you. Then you get really scared because you start to think, well, if he starts coming my way, where am I going to go? I can't climb the tree, but he can. If I run and go through those bushes, I'll get caught, and he'll go through there like a bulldozer at 40 miles an hour. So we've never been attacked by anything. Never. When we were traveling through Nevada and Utah and Arizona, we made a big loop every year, and we'd see about 15 to 20 rattlesnakes every year. We had some close calls, but we never been bit.
What's the most extreme weather you've ever experienced?
We were going through Utah. We went through Cedar City. We came out of Nevada. We went into Cedar City to restock up on supplies for about a month, and then we climbed up the mountain range in back of Cedar City, which was about 8,000 feet. And we got up to the top about nighttime, and the wind was really blowing hard. It was gale force wind. It was about the end of October, I guess. We were kind of late going through. The wind was blowing kind of hard, but then I put the mules out, I got in my sleeping bag and went to sleep. And then I woke up, I don't know, about 12 o'clock at night, and it was gale force wind. It was like hurricane winds. The trees were like bent half over. It'll blow out, and It won't be no problem. So I go to sleep, and I wake up again, and it's snowing. Yeah, it's snowing. And, well, I say, well, this is going to last very long, no big deal. And so I'm laying there in my sleeping bag, and it keeps snowing, and the snowflakes get heavier and heavier. Before you know it, I'm feeling the weight of snow on me in my sleeping bag, and I'm thinking, gee, it's getting kind of cold and getting kind of wet. I better get my tent up. So I get in the tent, and I'm still riding on, well, in the morning the sun will be out. We'll be on our way. So it snows all night long, and I get up in the morning, and my tent is, you know, the snow is up on the sides of the tent that high, and I look out my tent, front of my tent, and I'm looking at a snowbank that high, and it's staring me in the face, and it's colder than hell. All this stuff here is almost bare. Everything except the top of the pack boxes is buried in snow, and I can't find anything, you know. I don't know where it is. I don't know where a rope is or things I have to get out of there. You know, the snow was, shit, it was that high. We damn near died. We damn near froze to death, and when things had just got us to the edge, there was no wiggle room. We got up that next morning, the sun was shining, and we got out of there. We just had to leave everything behind and go back down to the bottom of the mountain and wait till it melted so we could get back up and get our stuff. That was our really one near-death experience. Yeah.
Is there a Mrs. Mule?
No, I lived a solitary life. Yeah, that's why I'm living this way. If I was, needless to say, married, I wouldn't be living this way. So, yeah.
What would you say the biggest trade-off is that you have to miss out on a certain experience?
We don't have any regrets about not participating in the man-made world. At this point, none. Yeah, it just doesn't have anything really to offer us. Our wealth is in the natural world, even as diminished as it is. You know, the buffaloes aren't here anymore, the elk, the noise, that damn road out there and all it does to you. Our forefathers had much better lives than we did. And that's it. It's not necessary to kill the man-made world. It's necessary to live in balance with the natural world. We need a strong natural world to be healthy and survive. We can't live without it. And we can't let this man-made world just destroy it, because we're destroying ourselves. So the key word is balance. When a good balance is struck between the two, the human race will be very well off.
One thing you can look back when you're having these flashbacks, you feel accomplished because of this one event, or...
No. It's been a steady, slow, gradual intensifying. When I first started with the mules, my main concern was just controlling them, getting horseshoes on them, keeping control of them, but they didn't get away from me, disappear, and keeping myself from getting hurt, that sort of stuff. That's all I had on my mind. But from that point, it's just been a steady, gradual state of awareness intensifying. And then when we come into California, it's just been this mystery, this mystical, magical experience we're having, and it keeps intensifying. And so it's a steady flow.
How about your emotions? You seem like a very calm guy. Do you ever get really angry?
Yeah. When we're on the side of that public thoroughfare, we don't call it a road because that indicates it's for the automobile. It's not. It's a public thoroughfare. The freeways are for automobiles at high speed. They're built at the tune of billions and billions of dollars, and they cost billions of dollars to maintain. That's for the high-speed automobile. Everything else, the county, city, state road, not roads, public thoroughfares, are for everybody. Whether you're riding in a wheelchair, whether you're making it on crutches, whether you're riding a horse, a bicycle, it's open to all comers. Everybody has the rightful use of it. That is the only way we can move our bodies from one place to the next. That's it. We're getting calls, you're on the road, you're in the middle of the road. And I say, well, we're not in the middle of the road, but at times we are in the road. We have no choice, there's nowhere else to go. And we have a right to be there. And well, they say, well, if we catch you out here again, we're going to take you to jail, pound your animals. But they can't do it. They can't do it because this is a public thoroughfare, and all comers have a right to use that road. And the high-speed motorist is required by law when faced with an obstacle, to slow down and stop if necessary, so all concerned can get by each other safely. That is in the law. They're not doing it. They're refusing to do it. And the sheriff, the highway patrol, are supporting them.
If people want to follow you,
3mules.com, the number 3, mules.com. That's our website, and then we have a Facebook link and a YouTube link, and they can see all our adventures and experiences as we live this most basic way of life, which is so common to all of us. This is all of us. It really is. And so,
how much longer do you think you're going to keep this up?
as long as I can, yeah. Right down to, I would love nothing more than to just someday get a heart attack or a stroke and just hit the pavement, hit the trail, and that would be it. That would be the way to die for me. Hopefully that's the way we do die.